Hi, hello, happy Sabbath and Shabbat Shalom. Alright, so what you're looking at there is the back of some modifications I've been doing this week to the track loader pulley in the process of building it up so I can put it back on the alternator, which is sitting over here with, of course, no pulley on it, and with a damaged surface where the pulley was sitting screwed crosswise on it, not even screwed on. And I got a replacement nut for the pulley, and so hopefully it'll all go back together better. Now this piece here, I had to make a tool to hold a boring bar that'll go in here. It'll clamp onto this part, and that'll allow me to bore that to its proper final fit. This thing is being held in here. Didn't realize I still had a vice grip on the end of that. Thankfully it didn't come flying off. Anyhow, so I've got a alignment tool here that its whole purpose is to keep the pulley completely straight up against another homemade tool right here, which was made out of, this is an old gate latch I had laying around, and then there's a, I don't know if it's even visible in there, there's a piece of steel from one of my brother's tool works. He never finished, but it's still a valid piece of steel, so I borrowed it momentarily as a, what do you call it? A mandrel of sorts. Bushing, mandrel, something like that. I got wire for fixing up the International's electrical system, and possibly hooking up some additional power stuff and cleaning up any other power issues that I have on Big Red, the new truck. I have not yet, I don't remember if I even had that this past week, but anyhow, I filled this up with propane, and I've used half of it trying to straighten out that bed there. And so you can see its curvature. I'm going to try to straighten it out. But so this thing blew its brakes. I have to blew its brakes out. I have to go under there and replace all the brake lines. I got a ton of new tools, and these are just old. This is my salvage of nuts and bolts. Anyhow, I got things like grease fittings. This is for making crimped dies for brake lines. Vacuum kit. A couple cotter key assortments. Some electrical charger connectors and stuff for another one of those grommets, and some cheaper disposable sunglasses, tube of grease for mainly, it'll be mostly used on the track loader when the track loader is running, but right now it's for anything, including all the bearings and bushings and U-joints and swivels on the various trucks that need it. Although I have not done anything specifically on the loader other than that pulley this week, I did get some stuff for it. I got this big power cable here to use to connect in the, when I go in, I'm going to connect in the high power cutoff switch, and when I do, I'm going to use this in the process. And then that's just a multi-use transfer pump for pumping oil and diesel fuel and stuff. And I also got over there some I got a push start switch and some extra new small gauge wire all that's going to go in here to replace everything. I'm going to be getting one of these big gland nut type spanners, so I can take that thing apart and fix the leak on it. So yeah, I'm pretty much piddling along. The other things that I did are up here at the house, and all the babies all seem to be in good shape at the moment. Although then again, I've had some that it seemed they were in great shape just suddenly keel over dead. So just because they look like they're in great shape doesn't mean that they're actually in great shape. Just means that you can't externally see what might be doing them in. But right this exact moment, everybody that's in the field seems to be in as good a shape as pretty much that they've ever been. Oh. I finished replacing that alternator on this thing, and I finally got the replacement shifter cable and got that in it. And as I said I was going to do, underneath here I put this extra heavy rubber barrier between, with the, let's get the little dimples on it, and make certain there's airflow between that and the sheet metal, instead of what was there before, which is sound deadening package. The power system and the new shifter cable go over that rubber sheet that I've got there, and actually the shifter cable, I don't know if I can pull that up, show you, but anyhow, it goes through a hole in the rubber sheet that I cut in there just for that express purpose. And I'm waiting on some body clips that are supposed to come Monday to put this threshold back in place. Till then, it's just sitting behind the seat. I gotta wrangle that one out. Once they're rusted out like that, you can't get them to stick again. So I'll get hopefully the body panel clips will put that threshold back in and pin that down. But generally speaking, other than that little piece, that project is fixed. Now, it doesn't do anything about the fact that the cab is crooked. It's not super evident until you get up real close, but the cab is sideways, sticks out and down some, where the cab's been crushed into its own self, and so I have to go in and eventually to work on it and get it right. If you can look, I don't know if it's evident, but the corner matches vertically on the passenger side, but it's down on the driver's side. And you go down here, you can see the corner's down. That's how much the cab is crushed. And it may not look like it's a lot, but it's enough to wrinkle the metal and break the paint. And that stress gives a place for the floor to be rotting out, and it's rotting out rapidly. Especially in our humid air, even though we don't have any like real salt on the roads. We got mud. That carries and holds moisture. So eventually, and you notice that there's these scratches up here that are not on the door, but they are on the cab. That's because the door is a replacement door. And you can see where there's deformation right here. And I think what happened here is the person that mounted the door didn't get it centered right the first time, or else it came off of another vehicle. But that's why I've got these scratches along here, is because one of my nephews was driving around down roads too fast, spun out, and did a little bit of damage to the truck. Like I said, that door had to be replaced. And I think the mirror was, well, Now the mirror was the original mirror, and I had to put this is, I replaced the mirror. If you look down in there real close, you can see all that shattered glass and stuff in there. That's the old mirror I just glued to the old mirror. Because it was pretty hard to try to get, I got as much crumbly glass out of there as possible and put that in. And the bumper's bent over here from that wreck. Thing was spun around. So that's potentially going to cause damage to the frame. You can see there's a little bit of a buckle right here in the fender. So yeah, it's had a few whacks and dangs. Like here, it got smacked up against that. I think what happened was after it had the wreck, they pulled the parts away from each other, or else the rubber bushings had that much stretch in them before they came back out. This has nothing to do with that wreck though. This is that's me running a generator in the back of the trailer without paying attention to where the exhaust outlet was, and that caused the plastic to deform. Doesn't change the performance of the product necessarily, although it make it a little more difficult to put a camper top on there without. What I'll have to do is I'll warm that up and put it back in place and clamp it while it's warm. I'll just heat it up and once it's back in place with it clamped and let it cool, it should be good to stay in the proper position. So we're almost out of all that hay. If anybody remembers, the hay came all the way out here to the very end. And so we're in the process right now of finding some more hay. I'm not for sure, but I think the ground right here is sinking. I kind of pulled a muscle in my leg the other day, slipping on the hay on this. It just slid real fast. And it hurts my hip and my Achilles tendon, I guess it is. Anyhow, that tendon down near your ankle, heel, along the calf muscle got pulled. And they both hurt a little bit. So I'm not for sure if the ground isn't sinking under here, because it could be built on top of a cavern. So that's all the hay we've got left from now until I can find some more. I may have to go to the store and pay the highest dollar for it. I don't know, we'll find out. They gotta have it, because this field is not going to support them of its own. Neither field is. And then on top of that, I've got captives that are in a position where if I don't give them hay, they get nothing. So they absolutely positively have to have hay in here. The little boys are growing like weeds. Yeah, they're growing like weeds. Yes, punch, yeah. You want to get up there and chew on my fingers. And these two over here. Now, unfortunately, that I know of, neither of these are pregnant. So I may have to run Mr. O'Malley in with them again. Try another round of them. Interestingly enough, the weather's been mild enough that to some extent there's still a bit of Bermuda grass growing, even though it's supposed to be dormant by now. But right here in this pile of water, the Bermuda grass is still green. So, been a very mild fall so far. And so, hard to say if we'll get hit by much of a winter or not. But hopefully, hang on a second here. Hopefully, we won't have too rough of a winter. Out here, the cacti are starting to open up their little blossoms a little better. Out here, I have to dash past the entryway because Mom's got a radio playing, and I don't want to get a YouTube strike on that. So the avocado trees all seem to be generally happy except for the one in that shallow dish. I need to repot it. and it's short on moisture. And this one here is putting out some flowers. Hopefully it's not going to be in too bad a shape. And then of course everything down through here, I've got the onion sprouts coming along here that were from the outside field out there in the sand, and so they're growing up next to the leeks, aka elephant garlic. And this thing here that almost died is coming back quite well. They all come and go with hardships, and of course so many spider plants that eventually I've got to do something with. Get me a bunch of potting soil and set them all up and find a place for them. This thing here needs to be pruned back some. Although it's got new growth right here, you got to be careful where you prune them, because you might damage new growth and then, you know, made it harder on the tree. We shall see what we shall see, though. Got to repot the aloe vera and all sorts of other issues. Not too sure that my cactus is doing too well over here. It's looking excessively wilty and dry. Hope the roots didn't die on it. We'll see. I'll check on that later. Alright, well, that's pretty much everything around here that's happened or not happened. So because of the radio and everything, I gotta keep talking until I'm done. So that's oh yeah, this is pretty much, I think, just a total failure. Didn't put on a single root. Could be that foam stuff is designed to keep them from sprouting, for all I know. So we'll see y'all in the next report next Sabbath.